Hey everyone, welcome to Unique Ways with Thomas Gerard, an audio podcast. Got an awesome guest on today, and I'll describe her. She says, "Hi, I'm Glynis. I'm a business consultant and SEO specialist for apparel and fashion companies. She has 20 years of experience in the apparel industry and brings a wealth of knowledge that she wants to share with people in need, and has worked for big brands such as Club Monaco and Reebok before successfully running her own clothing design company for over 10 years. Please join me in welcoming Glynis Tao. Welcome.
Hi, Thomas. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Are you ready for 20 questions?
Yes, let's do this.
Great. Question one, tell me a little bit more about yourself. What do you do?
My name is Glynis, and I'm a clothing brand owner turned business consultant and SEO specialist with 20 years apparel industry experience. I help fashion entrepreneurs and clothing brand owners launch, build, and grow their fashion e-commerce business. I'm the founder of Chase Your Dreams, which is an apparel consulting agency that specializes in SEO for fashion brands who want to increase organic traffic, rank higher in search engines, and make more sales online. And I'm also the host of Chase Your Dreams podcast. This is a podcast for fashion entrepreneurs who are ready to pursue their passion and make a living doing what they love.
Great. Just a note for our audience, Glynis and I don't know each other until now, but we had some overlap with some of the teaching we were doing here in Vancouver. So thought it would be awesome to have her on. So number two, what's a key piece of knowledge that makes you different?
A key piece of knowledge that makes me different, I would say, is perhaps my over 20 years experience working in the apparel industry. I went to school for fashion. I studied fashion design. I have a Bachelor of Applied Arts and degree in fashion. And I worked in fashion, for big brands and various corporations for a decade, as well as having my own clothing design business. And I find that it's sort of rare nowadays that people sort of stick to one career path or one industry for pretty much their entire career. And so, yeah, I really learned a lot through it. And that's sort of why I chose teaching as well, is so that I'm able to share my knowledge and experience with the next generation. Another thing I would probably say is what makes me different is my balance of the left brain, right brain type of thing, where I am both like analytical yet creative. And so that's sort of why people, when they ask me like, oh, why, how did you get into SEO? It's so different, from fashion. And I say, yeah, it is, but maybe it's because of that, I have that ability to use the analytical side to understand things and the creativity to solve problems and think in a more creative way. So
Great. And one more note for the audience. If you're liking the teaching angle of this episode, make sure to check out our recent episode with Ellen Lepton. I believe she's chair at Maryland Institute College of Art. That was a great episode. Number three, why this of all things? Why do you do what you do?
why did I choose entrepreneurship?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was I would say it's a journey for me. I think I always had this wanting to do something, do my own thing, but was always afraid to. And so I sort of took the safe route of getting a job and working for a big company because I figured, well, security, right? There's more job security. But it wasn't really the case for me. And so I had an opportunity during a restructuring with the company I was working for to explore having my own business. And so that's when I started my own clothing brand. And it actually turned out to be one of the longest jobs that I ever had. I ran that company for over 10 years and built it up, and had distribution across Canada and the US, into wholesale, got into retail stores, specialty boutiques. And now I work as a consultant and consulting fashion entrepreneurs, clothing brands, and that sort of thing. And I really had to do a lot of soul searching when I decided to start the second business. It's just something that I guess, like I said, having worked in the fashion industry for so long, I just felt that I had so much to give and felt that I had the knowledge to help people. And so this is why I decided to go into consulting. And SEO was just something that I decided to learn, as well as to learn something different. And I think with the combined experience, I feel I'm able to help people with their needs. And it sort of has, become this thing for me. And I really enjoy doing it. I can't imagine doing anything else.
Great. I'm glad to hear you talk about entrepreneurship. We had Chris Krug on the show, and you guys should definitely check out his episode if you're interested in entrepreneurship. So some people struggle with number 4, but the question is, what does your future look like?
That's a hard question. I mean, I definitely see myself still having my own business, because I want to be in the area of helping others, and being able to teach as well. But when I was younger, I'd say in my 20s, maybe 30s, I was so really concerned about the future and thinking about what's ahead, and feeling like this need to be chasing something. And it resulted in a lot of anxiety for me. And until, I realized that living in the present moment, really, and really enjoying the things that I do, has been able to help me just be able to do the things like without feeling, so much pressure about whether or not I'm achieving this or that goal. So that sort of thing. So right now, I really am just enjoying the present moment, enjoying what I do, and doing more of that, I think.
Great. So number 5, we say, is unique to this podcast. The question is, let's talk about location. How does the notion of place play into what you do?
Yeah, that's an interesting question, because ever since I started my own business, and that even goes back to when I had my own clothing brand, I had always worked from home. And I mean, this is like you're talking about 17 years ago, right? Um, when I was like used to working in an office, used to commuting and going to the office and working with other people, to suddenly doing everything from home. And I really enjoyed it. Just, cutting down that commute time, really, it felt like, wow, I was able to gain back like an extra hour to 2 hours a day, which is great. And I mean, I worked from home ever since, and I still work from home now, and I have my setup all, the way I want it to right now. And I just really enjoy it, and I enjoy where I am now. I live in Vancouver, Canada, and I have the mountains around me. So, when I was younger, I was maybe just wanting to explore, go to different places. I've lived in different cities. I've lived in Toronto, New York, and Hong Kong. But I just really missed the nature, and being around nature, and being able to just step out of my front door and be able to just take a walk around nature just to clear my head, you know. So to me, I find that living in Vancouver is a great place for me, and being able to live and work the same place like where I love, in the city that I love. I think, I feel I'm very lucky to be able to do that.
Yeah, me too. So number 6, if you had to start from the beginning, what advice would you give your former younger self?
I would say to learn marketing, and copywriting. But that's something I didn't learn in school, and I had to learn myself. And just, I wish I had learned about or knew about the importance of marketing more when I was younger, and study it more. I mean, I'm really interested in it now, and it's part of what I do, but I'm always learning more and I want to learn more about it. So yeah, I would say, start earlier. I wish I started earlier to learn marketing and copywriting. Definitely, I feel it's like an art. I didn't consider myself a very good writer, and often just felt very hesitant to write anything because I felt that it wasn't good enough. And I really, in the past few years, have really pushed myself to learn it and do more writing and get out of my comfort zone more. And I feel like I've, I wouldn't say I'm like really that great, but I think I'm a lot better than what I was. And it's just all by practicing and just do it, really. So yeah, that's what I would say.
Perfect. So number 7 is, what's a day in your life like?
My days are all kind of different. I don't have a routine, or it's never the same for me. Depends on what day it is. Well, normally I wake up in the morning and I like to do some stretches and move my body first thing. And after that, I like to drink warm hot water and with lemon in it. So I guess if you were to say, like, is that my routine, that would be it. That's something that I do every day, is wake up, move my body, drink hot water with lemon, and then I get on with my day. So it depends. Like, I could be taking my son to school. I could be, just starting work, um, turning on the computer, checking my emails. Some days I even go and do my karate class, because I also do karate. And so Tuesday, Thursday mornings is the day I go. And then I also train on Saturdays as well. And then I, go back, I do my work. And then in the evening, I like to spend time with my family, and we just do different things together. Or I'll take my son to his, different activities and stuff like that. And yeah, pretty much, all the way until bedtime, pretty much. Um, is to me, it's family time. That's important to me. And then other than that, sometimes, it's hard when you have a business that there's always work that needs to be done. So sometimes I have to stay up late, and just catch up on my work. And yeah, that's pretty much what it looks like.
I love your note about the hot water with lemon. We had John Maeda on the show, and he talked about not learning about eating protein for breakfast until he was in his 40s, and he always wondered why he was so hungry. So I love those kinds of notes. So number 8, lifelong learning is a popular topic. How do you stay up to date?
Uh, for me, I like to take online courses, and I've probably purchased way more than I've actually have been able to go through. But just whatever catches my eye, I'm like, yeah, that's something that I want to learn about. And listening to podcasts is another one. And also talking to people. I like networking and just talking to people, listening to their stories, because everybody just has a different story, right? So you just never know. Even a person who may be complete opposite to you, I think has something interesting to share and to learn from. And I would also say teaching. To me, teaching is a way of learning, because I'm not only teaching, but I feel like I'm learning from my students as well. And so, yeah, those would probably be the ways I would say in terms of how I learn.
Great. So we're almost halfway here. Number 9, what tools do you use? Do you have digital and analog tools?
Yeah, I use both. I am very much still an analog kind of girl. I mean, I still have my planner agenda that I use. It's a paper agenda. I write in it. I still feel it good. Like pen to paper. I have to write things down and be able to check them off. It kind of just gives me that satisfaction. But in terms of tools, like digital tools that I use for my business, I would say SEMrush is a big one for me as an SEO specialist. I use ClickUp to assign tasks to my team and to keep track of projects. I use Zoom a lot for meetings. Pretty much the entire Google suite. Everything there I use pretty much daily. I use a writing tool called Neuron Writer, as well as ChatGPT. So I find that has been so incredibly helpful. Just, being able to help refine my writing, I would say, or at least just be able to give me ideas and prompts. So yeah, those tools. Canva as well, I use quite a bit, and Kajabi for my email marketing.
Great. So halfway, number 10, how do you deal with work-life balance?
I feel like my work and life are pretty integrated. I don't think it's a separate thing. It's quite a blurry line, sort of, where my work and my life begins. I think, I really made it a goal to design my own life the way that I wanted to. And I think that's the way it's turned out for me is now I think, having a young child has really forced me more to have more balance, I guess, because when he's home, that means it's family time, right? Whereas before I had a child, I would work right into the night, right? I would work late into the night all the time. Ate late, stayed up late, did everything like that. But so having a child, I think, really forces you to have more of the work-life balance and just, yeah, being more disciplined that way.
Great. And 11, if you weren't doing what you do now, what would you be doing?
Um, I'd like to travel more, I think. See the world more, go on an adventure. I think I would really love to, visit the four corners of the world and just being able to meet and talk to different people and to listen to their experience in life and learn from it. I think just more learning, really. Yeah.
And what would you not like to do with your career?
Anything that's repetitive for me, that would just drive me nuts if I have to do the same thing day in and day out. Um, any kind of like data entry type of work, like to me, um, I need to have that challenge and the just doing different things every day. Yeah.
Cool. And 13, do you have a favorite word, quote, or sentence?
I do. This is a pretty long one, actually. It's it's Gary Zukov, who's the author of Seat of the Soul. He says, when the deepest part of you becomes engaged in what you do, when your activities and actions become gratifying and purposeful, when what you do serves both yourself and others, when you do not tire within, but seek the sweet satisfaction of your life and your work, you are doing what you were meant to be doing.
Nice, I love it. And do you have a least favorite?
Least favorite word? Maybe try. And this sort of ties in with, and here's sort of like where my nerdy side comes in, I would say, is another quote that I like would be from Yoda, Jedi Master, who said, do or do not. There is no try.
Nice. 15, if you had to pick one word to describe yourself, what word would you choose?
I would say curious. I'm just so curious all the time and I like to learn different things.
What keeps you up at night?
Uh, Watching scary movies. I don't like that. It keeps me up. So I don't do that. And lately, I mean, it's like watching the news. That anytime I watch the news and see all this chaos that is going on around the world, it just like, yeah, that really bothers me and keeps me up.
Do you have a dream you're chasing?
Oh, well, I mean, my company is called Chase to Dreams. So actually, just a little side story to that. It's named after my son Chase. So that's why I decided to name a company Chase Your Dreams. And so to me, being a role model and an example to my son is really important to me. I want to be able to set a good example that anything is possible. And just, watching a child feel like they are limitless and that they can do anything, is amazing. And I want to be able to encourage him more to do those things, right?
Great. And final stretch, what inspires you?
Yeah. I mean, there are several people around me who inspire me. One of them being my 75-year-old Japanese karate instructor. She's a woman and she's a 5th degree black belt. And I've been training under her for the past 4 or 5 years. And just she inspires me. And also, I would say my son, who is an inspiration. Like I said, children are really humbling. I think, we as adults, I feel like we have been conditioned by society or whatnot, schooling to be or act a certain way. And in a way, we kind of lose ourselves and who we are because we're told to, do this or that, or even by our parents, telling us what to do, and we feel like, okay, well, I'll just do that because they told me to do that, and just want to please people. But with children, they still haven't been really, yeah, they haven't been, affected by those things, and they're just still really themselves, and they'll just do whatever they want to. They still have that sort of natural instinct to act and do what they feel like doing. Sometimes it's a little hard to manage, but I still find that really interesting, and take that as a reminder for myself to go back and think, yeah, how does it feel to be a child again? So yeah.
I love that. And any advice you'd like to share?
I would say if you have a dream that you want to pursue, go for it. That's really what Chase Your Dreams is all about. It's just really to inspire people to go after their dreams, no matter how big or small it is. Just take the first step, because you never know. It is scary. I won't lie. It's very scary, and it just feels like, yeah, I'm stepping off a cliff every single day. But maybe because I've been doing it for so long now, it just feels normal to me. But I don't think I would do it any other way. And I feel like if I were not doing this, I just feel like I would be, it would be torture. Like, I feel like I'd be holding myself back and holding back my potential. And I think that everybody was born with a gift. So they should go out and find out what that is and be able to share their gift with the world.
Great. And number 20, what's our call to action? How can our listeners keep tabs on you?
Yeah, so you can find me or learn more about me on my website, which is my name, glynistao.com. And on social, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Instagram. My Instagram handles at Glynis Tao. And I also have a podcast called Chase Your Dreams Podcast, and you can listen and learn everything that's fashion related there.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on. Being a Vancouver person and coming on the show is super important for us and for the podcast to have that local angle. But your richness of experiences is really kind of I think in a way shows what Vancouver can be like and how we live here. So super excited to have had you on. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Thomas. I had a lot of fun being here, and thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Thanks.